Pete, have you found a metric yet? Some sort of correlation that like actually matters? I feel like you just keep putting out all of this data. You keep sharing all of these links. You keep putting out all of these tables, but I swear the highest correlation I've ever seen you put out is like 0.54. Can you give me a better R2 than that? What's
Not really. I mean, correlated to what? I mean, it's all relative to what you're interested in. If you're interested in fantasy points, and you're pretty lucky to get up to 0.6, put it that way.
Oh, geez, I'm soaking wet.
Right?
Yeah, man. 0.6, I can work with that.
I've always kind of felt the opposite way about it. If the best we have gives you just over 50%, why the fuck would you listen to anything else? Because if it's everything else is less than 5%, what the fuck are you spending all that time talking about it, boring me the shit about it on a podcast? I have this narrative that literally never works. Let me talk to you about it.
Listen
for
to
an
me.
Hour. Go away, man. Just go away with your narrative.
Yeah.
You listen to me. Buffalo is awesome.
Buffalo. Oh God. How did that happen? Exactly. Is there something that we can, because my issue, and I talked about this with Zach, the Tacit Assassin 13, the 13th Tacit Assassin, but probably the only Tacit Assassin. We were chatting with a couple of other nerds, as a matter of fact, and we're just wondering, is there, like, I understand that you collect all of the data, right? All of the points, all of the players, but are there players that you should leave out purposefully because they don't fit your, for the lack of a better term, narrative?
Depends what for, right, Gabe? You know this shit. Stop trying to get me to do your intro for you. Let's see. I think you should collect all of it, but you should have reasonable thresholds for where a player starts figuring into anything you're calculating. So average target share makes sense for wide receivers, but that one game by Jamison Crowder should probably be nixed, right? Because he's up there with 40% target share or whatever, making everyone else look bad. So yeah, you should collect everything, but people different ways have thresholds for what to include in anything you calculate from it. So a certain amount of targets is necessary, a certain amount of touches overall, a certain amount of games, depending on what you're actually looking at. But you collect it all just basically to own the jocks.
I think where it gets frustrating and possibly where the jocks have the jock strap hung over your head is where they are saying, okay, thresholds, well, that's subjective. PA howdy. You can just create a threshold. Why are you creating this threshold specifically for this metric? Why?
Well, presumably you do some back testing to find out it still makes it relevant, or that's where targets become relevant. Like Adam Armstead, I think it is, used to have a website. It's been a while since I read it because it's really fucking nerdy. But he used to do back testing of where volume finally reaches a point where it's past the statistical likelihood that it's luck or variance or other factors. And for like yards per carry, it was something like 40 Frank Gore lifetimes or something like that. Where yards per carry actually is definitely about the player and not about the situation he's in. So you're looking at his average for the first time, not the O-line or the situation or the success of the team. So it depends on what you're looking at or what you're looking at it for. But you can make reasonable assumptions and you can back test them to make sure they're relevant. Hey, Bob Gilchrist.
Where is Zach?
I was talking with a student the other day. Sorry, this is a long intro. I was talking with a student the other day, and I was asking him a pretty simple question. I thought, he was talking to me about coding and how he was learning to code a little bit here and there with Swift. Is kind of a intro to coding type of program for kids that are interested in that, right? And I said, and he wrote code to find the slope between 2 points. I was like, awesome, dude, great. But no, come on, Pete. He's like, yeah, well, I'll tell you what.
I
tell you what,
you're
Pete,
doing there.
slope formula
computer.
is 1.0 correlation to success. All right. But anyway, I was asking him, I said, when you're coding anything, do you think that you should have to understand what exactly you are gathering, what exactly you are assessing before you even start coding anything? And, obvious answer, resounding yes. So Pete, like, you got all these acronyms, man, the Whopper, the Yacker, all of these things. Do you think that you have to understand all of these things before you even throw them into a sheet? Or can you just, give your X axis and your Y axis, throw the points on a table, look for a correlation, and if it fits, it ships? But you don't even know what it means. You're just like, yeah, this player works because of these two things correlating. But do you have to actually know what those things mean?
Oh my gosh.
I might have to know what you mean.
I'm fired up, man.
The question. In general, yeah, I think it's always a good idea to understand what you're talking about, I guess, is what you're saying. Yeah. Mainly because you could be suffering from covariance, multicollinearity, or whatever the fuck those nerd words are. You literally teach in school while making fun of me. So, yeah, you have to understand where it comes from. It has to make logical sense once you find out what the result is. Because that's just, an eye test, I guess, of the initial result. Like, if it makes no fucking sense, like, oh, look, if your mother's sister's name is Bertha, you are going to be the best quarterback in the history of existence. That doesn't make fucking sense. You've probably got a problem, right? That's not... That right.
Correlation
matter.
Is not causation. Yeah.
So you should always understand whatever stat it is you're actually looking up. Yeah.
Okay.
To some extent.
Okay. Welcome to the open bar. It is Tuesday. It is 9:30 Eastern-ish. That was our stats lecture for the night. Come here every Tuesday at 9:30 Eastern-ish, where PA Howdy joins us for about 10 minutes, and then we kick him off the show. I come up. So thank you. Thank you, Pete, for joining us. Appreciate you. We will see you next week.
Thank you.
Until then, deuces, our deuces.
I get it.
Yeah, you get it. You get it. Oh, all right. J Mike, what's up, dude? How you doing, man?
Let me ask Gabe, have you ever attempted to pull someone out of a pool while you were standing on the edge or even kneeling on the edge? Have you ever attempted to pull someone up out of a pool?
Mm-hmm.
You have? Okay. What is your success rate with that?
I can't remember a time that I've failed. Period. But just in regards to what you're saying, yeah, okay. Yeah,
100%. That's 100% Whopper. Weighted opportunity rate. Without pools. We got that on a spreadsheet right there, Peter. Right? Third tab on the right.
Tab over. Yeah. So just as you and Peter were going back and forth, I was just like, wow, I really don't deserve either of you in my life, and apparently, Bruce and I just need to go to Zoom, create our own breakout room, and just talk about non-nerd stuff, because you all went to a land that just, I don't know, it was like a rocket ship, and I feel like I was just waving as you guys were taking off. But it was beautiful to watch. I feel smarter for it now. I feel like I missed out, but I'm glad to be here. And thank you, Bob, for asking in the chat. It is a Christmas miracle. My computer is back to working. Mazel tov, mazel tov. The sadness can end. For those that were wondering, had something overtaken the machine. I don't know. I have no idea. But after some coaching from Gabe, lots of Googling, and a rather large friend named Catalina.
Catalina wine mixer.
Catalina wine mixer.
Fucking Catalina wine mixer.
We are back, and this is a good thing. So I'm happy to see your face, Gabe, first and foremost, but happy to have a chilled open bar this evening. This will be a good time. A very intimate open bar.
Indeed, my friend. I feel closer than we've been in about 1 year when we watched Cincinnati and Jacksonville face off in a massive kitty duel. And it happened again this year. Who got the upper hand? Well, we're gonna burrow into that tonight.
Look at you, just playing with the mixing kittens.
I don't know. Yeah. Well, look, we do have a show tonight. J Mike, he continues to impress. He continues to throw a ragtag of humans together. And he decided to go the 2v2 tonight. I think he's a little tired, sick and tired of the debauchery that happens every single week. It's always a 4-on-2 handicap match. All right. Bruce, I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So we're sick of it. We want an even tag team match, and that's what we're bringing you here tonight on the open bar. So we have two guests, both vets. They know what the heck they're doing. You already saw our 8 minute. Yeah, I know. You already saw our 8 minute intro with Pete, telling us about things, or not. See, that's the thing, man. That's the thing. J Mike, you said that you didn't understand a thing, but it's not about the things. A thing is only a thing, not what is said of that thing. It's all about like philosophizing and making sure you understand what exactly you're putting out there, not necessarily what it is, man. So Pete, how you doing tonight?
What's in that glass, Pete?
It is what it is, man. I guess.
Fine wine there.
It's Wild Turkey 101.
Oh yeah,
Nice.
And some sort of black substance.
I know. I was like, that's not. Oh, okay. Wait. Oh,
They brought it dark down.
Dang
here.
it, Pete.
What can I say?
Oh, geez. What are Kentuckians? What are they called?
Kentuckans. We
They're
just adopted
Kentuckians.
it. This guy on the internet said it, and one of us liked it so much that we've adopted it. We're now Kentuckans.
It kind of
Pretty
sounds
cool.
like the turducken, but you're just giving it a human name.
Yeah, I like it. It's yeah.
Yeah. Well, anyway, Pete, good to see you, my friend.
You too, man. It's been a while.
you. Yeah, it has been a while. I've missed you dearly. Happy to have you. How are you doing? Lovely shirt. All right. Rest in paradise to our friend James the Brain. Much love to you, my friend. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Beer, cheese, soup forever. How you doing? How you doing, Pete?
I'm doing pretty well. Well, I was doing better again until you reminded me of the tragedy strapped to my chest. But yeah, I'm doing pretty well. Thanks, Gabe. Yeah. How about yourself? What have you guys been up to? Anything happening lately? Doing much?
I don't know. I've been I was watching a little football this weekend.
That's cool.
Yeah. Mostly just red zone. Mostly just red zone stuff. The fantasy teams. Okay, so I think there's a problem, J Mike. This is a huge. This could possibly be a discussion for the evening. Is that I'm not. I know a lot of y'all are highly respected fantasy football athletes in this game. Possibly been playing since before I was born, or even in the 90s, even in the 2000s. That's more than me. I've only played for I think 10 years, and I started with redraft. I started Dynasty about 5 years ago. I think this is the first year where I have transitioned into a feeling that I know more about Dynasty than I do redraft. And it's blending into my strategy for redraft, and it's messing with it a little bit. Example, DJ Moore. I don't know if that is an example. Maybe it's just a bad hit so far, but that is one that is on my mind that has been frustrating me. And my redraft teams are fine. They're surviving, right? But they're not as dominant as past years where I'm like, this is great. I'm gonna keep playing this forever, And but now I'm finally at the point where there are a few not all my dynasty teams. Okay, I hear y'all out there. Don't come and attack me for my really bad teams. Okay, trade addicts. But there are several teams that are actually good, and I feel like I understand a little bit more of how to build a dynasty team, considering I have time to do it. Versus redraft, it is one-stop shop. You got to make that happen in 1 year. It's almost become more difficult.
I think it's partly that links up to how we misplay Dynasty by thinking it's so much different than redraft. Like if you want to win, you've got to play more in the mindset of redraft at all every year, not 3 years out every year and then you never win. But something I wanted to ask, I just decided, actually, I'm pretending like it's been a question I've had, but I just thought of it while you were talking. Is it harder to be dominant this year? It's either really easy for one team, because there's going to be at least 2 teams that are really dominant in every league right now, and it's harder for everyone else to keep up because you have, and I haven't run numbers on this or anything, but it seems like an incredibly high offensive output year. As you know, some people mentioned could possibly happen on a podcast like almost every week throughout the off season, instead of saying it's going to be so bad because everyone's going to have COVID. So basically, you've got all this high offensive output. So if you get a 20-point week from a running back or wide receiver, it's not as much of an advantage because several teams have gotten that. And then you have a few players literally just putting up historic week-to-week numbers. You've got 50-point games instead of being once of a season, like they're happening multiple times a week. And so if you don't have those players, even though you drafted well and made the right decisions, you've got good players and they're doing well. But these other teams have got 50-point games on their damn squad. So I don't know. It just feels like it might be harder to win in redraft this year, or just even in Dynasty, because I know we say every year just draft the right players because that's the actual advice that matters, obviously. But if you have the right players and have a good process and your players are doing well, you still won't be getting dumped on pretty much every week. Is that true, or is that just I
feel like there's a lot of variance this year when you're playing in those key injuries and those blow-up matchups, high-scoring affairs, and just some players coming out of nowhere. Like we have Tunyon coming out the other day for the Packers, scoring hugely. And
that's the other thing added onto it, right? You've got players dropping down quicker and coming in quicker, and then so much offensive output, and they're actually putting up 20 points. Sorry, I didn't mean to jump in, but that's a good point. Yeah, it's a really good point.
I'd like to jump in as well and say, Bruce, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me on here. I'm excited to be here,
dude. And you came in the clutch yet again. How do you do it?
I'm just always willing to grind. I'm always available to come out of the bullpen and throw heaters to close out this game.
Right.
And actually, you're going to get.
You know who you are, or what you are always, to kind of keep going with our wrestling analogy for you, Money in the Bank.
That's true. It's true.
Exactly. You cash it in, maybe that's, up to us as far as when we would like for you to cash it in, but you are willing to cash it in immediately. And we appreciate that.
Yep. I will run down towards that apron, run into the ring, and throw down that briefcase whenever possible. Every opportunity, I'm ready to rock and roll, and that's how it goes.
Indeed. Man, There have been a lot of high scoring games this year. I was noticing that, like, mostly watching Red Zone a lot. And then they, put up a scoreboard every once in a while, like whatever, first quarter, third quarter. And I'm like, are there defenses? Like, what? Like, there's no defenses. And I don't know if people, I am sadly in some of those leagues still where there are, team defense, special teams. And it's, that has been like really challenging to find a defense that was actually like, I picked like there's a league where you, for whatever reason, we all pick our defenses first. And I was first overall to pick my defense, and I picked San Francisco, and that's just been a shit show.
Oh yeah.
That's supposed to be okay. And it's just been horrible. And all of them have been technically kind of horrible. I mean, in thinking about like the Seahawks or like Dallas, like no way that you would ever touch that. And those are more like, I need players that are playing against those teams every single week.
Oh yeah. What was it? Last week we had Vegas with like 5, maybe 6 games with over-unders around 50 or higher. That's really high compared to like previous years. You don't really see that many games, and the games that are pegged that are be shootouts, that they're hitting too. Like, you can pretty much chalk them up, especially in DFS. Like, you knew Dallas and Cleveland that was going to be a shit show, and you knew to stack them Browns, stack them Cowboys, and mix and match that. And yeah. And then it's really hard to pick a defense this year, especially in DFS. Like, I remember last week I was just going through the list, and I just couldn't pick one. There were some lineups I would just punt it and just go with the cheapest one and say, screw it, they're all going to suck anyways, and just use the rest of my assets and cash just to build up at other positions. So yeah, it's been really hard putting together lineups this year because of the defense issue.
Yeah. And there's such a discrepancy between price too. And it's like, I don't care. Like, I think it just happened with the Eagles game. Like, the 49ers were so overpriced, and I saw the Eagles, like, I don't know, 1,500 less or whatever it was, 1,000 less. And I was like, what's the difference here? And then, Eagles ended up scoring the touchdown. So that was just lucky. But even if they didn't, they still would have been, just as good, if not better than the 49ers. So yeah. Weird year so far. J Mike, thoughts?
I was just gonna say, were you all nervous to start the players from the Patriots Chiefs game? Were you all nervous about that? Like when it came to Sunday and you were setting lineups, were you all nervous that this might not end well for me, and I'm not thrilled about that?
Yeah, to an extent, because just all those circumstances, just throwing in extra unknown variables, and it's just been a weird year so far, and that's just gonna just hampers you in the back of your mind. Peter, you got a spreadsheet for that?
Yeah, but no, my answer was no, mainly because I was starting Patrick Mahomes and Clyde Edwards-Helaire, and the replacements for either of those were like, I'll take 5% of either of them. It's fine. But I know I was really disappointed. I was looking forward to tilting along with everyone else about all my injuries and the games being moved, and it's just not hit my team so hard. So I've been pretty lucky that way. But even then, the Patriots game and the Chiefs, like, I had players in that game, and I never really felt tilted over it, because I felt like by Saturday they'd already said it was going to happen, and if they're going to play the players that are, I don't know, I didn't feel very tilted by it at all. I was like, well, I'm not playing someone, I'm not going to risk replacing Patrick Mahomes. That just seems, it's not something that's ever smart to do.
Yeah.
So I didn't get to experience any of that tilt. So I haven't felt it. I can understand why some people were, if you're deciding between two players that are a little closer. But my choices were like Patrick Mahomes or Phillip Rivers. So yeah, that was pretty easy to go. Pretty easy. Yeah, sure.
I will risk this donut.
Yeah, I'm good. Either I've got a risk of a donut or minus points in either direction. I'll take the one with the 30-point upside. That's fine by me. But that's just
bold take,
luckily
Pete.
worked out.
Bold take, man.
Right?
I was a little worried about at the same time, not worried about the Patriots because I don't know if they have any fantasy relevant players with either Brian Hoyer or Stidham throwing the football, but whatever, ignoring that for a moment, just the fact that they had to travel to Kansas City that same day is very odd and not a thing ever unless it's a high school football team that I think they do that. But that would be difficult. I think, I don't know. It's just weird because it's just out of like a routine that I think players are used to. And our boy Harry ended up being okay that game, Pete. James White came back and had a nice little game. But other than that, it was pretty like, oh, wait, excuse me, J Mike, your boy.
Yeah.
Damian Harris.
Bob.
Yeah. 100-yard game.
Huh?
We in here. We had to overcome nonsense from last season. We had to overcome Sony PlayStation 5 Michelle. We had to overcome Rex Cornhusker Head. We had to overcome Bill Belichick's nonsense. Listen, the adversity was nonstop for my mans. Okay. Mm-hmm. But his introduction, his party, his hello, how are you to the world was official.
Do that again. I need it.
It's official. He's here.
Would you start him next week then?
Who do they play?
Yeah, I don't understand your love for players. If they hit, you still wouldn't start them. I need to see a good solid 7 weeks. Okay?
I'm running him out there. Okay. I'm running him out there for the glory, Peter. Like this is it. This is the time, and I've had people reaching out because I've got him on several rosters. People are reaching out like, "Hey, Damian Harris, so what's going on? How can we get a piece?" And I was like, "You didn't love him when he was riding the pine. You didn't love him. You didn't love him when he was second fiddle to Josh Jacobs. You didn't love him when he was hailing from Richmond, Kentucky. No, listen, if you can't love him at his worst, don't try to come in when the shine's up. You missed the glow up. You missed the glow up. It's over."
Don't let people on the train after the fact. No,
he's a Kentuckian. I didn't know he was a Kentuckian.
Yeah, he's a Kentuckian. He's a Kentuckian turducken.
Did you say
literally
the Kentuckian turducken?
Because there might be like 7 Richmond Kentuckys, but I work in a Richmond, Kentucky, so
no, like there's only one Pedro.
Basically, we're brothers. So same person, really. I didn't.
So Patriots at Denver. Denver at. I don't know why the order is what it is here on PFR, but yeah, it's in New England. Excuse me, but Broncos
47.5 over under. 11-point spread favored for the Patriots. So
we got a Damian Harris prop too. Can we see some player props? Huh?
You got any of that?
Let's see here.
It feels good. I'm just saying it feels good. And I guess with all that said, and Bruce, I know you're looking that up. I just want to get this in real quick. I found week 4 to be one of those things that could really open up to something scary. And I'm curious if the NFL I don't even know if they did think forward or had any forward thinking with how they did the protocols for when they reschedule games and things of that nature. But it opened the door because if we start getting to these playoff weeks and we have games that may or may not happen, what your commissioners and what your leagues are going to choose to do if they're allowing replacement players, or hey, risk that zero like Peter Howard. Hey, you can run Mahomes out there, or you can run the ghost of Phillip Rivers. You know, the power is yours. It's going to make for a fun rest of season. But Bruce, you were saying, because you were looking that up.
Yeah, it looks like Patriots might be in a smash spot for Harris coming in this week. Definitely want to roll him out in lineups. I feel right now just looking at it just from the surface. I haven't deep dived it enough, but yeah.
Hello.
Yeah. I would do it.
Wow.
So yeah, that feels good. Feels good, Gabe. Thank you for letting me have that moment. Felt great.
I honestly almost forgot about it. that's how like distant I am from Damian Harris. Just like, oh man. But that neato, dude. Yeah. Congrats. I know you've been waiting on this. I mean, I know you haven't been waiting as long as me for Jerick McKinnon.
Ooh.
Hey,
but can I expect the same from Kenneth Dixon possibly at some point this year? Is that fair? Can we
we passed the sell by date, unfortunately, on old Jerick. I'm not Jerick, excuse me. Kenneth Dixon. Mm-hmm. Well, and let me ask you guys this: when we're looking now at because this was really fascinating when you were talking through redraft, Gabe. We were talking in the chat. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Good to see everyone. Y'all keeping it lit this evening. And we'll get back to our Ruta moment in terms of shouting out the people in the chat. Casey was first today. What up, Casey? Good to see you. Top Gunth was in the building as well. What up, Tyler? Hope you're well. Bob Gilchrist in the building too. Obviously Zach, the tacit assassin himself, in the building. Dave, the big homie from the T Dot, he came through as well. Nick Martinez, what's up, Nick? AB's in the building. Listen, it's lit. It's Litty City in the chat, and it's certainly good to see your all's faces as well. Also, someone named Peter Howard who's just coming in and cussing at random people, which is great. So I'm sure that makes him feel welcome. It's awesome.
They know I say it with love. It's fine. I am one with the chat. I'm not one of the ignored. So,
I don't know if I shouted him out. Bob Gilchrist. Bob, good to see you as well. Bob,
I want to say I'm with Bob.
That name's come up
if I can unfairly translate Bob, when we were talking about Mahomes, he said basically he was okay taking the L.
Yep.
If he started him and he scored like no points, which I roughly translate to Bob Gilchrist basically said he was going to completely shit can Patrick Mahomes all over Twitter for having his first bad game in the NFL if it ever happens. That was honestly my plan. You know, that historic quarterback that's literally never had a bad game. He just had one. Now he's like the worst thing in the history of ever. How dare he? That was honestly my plan.
How dare he?
And I feel like me and Bob feel the same way about that. So I wanted to mention it. I'm just trying to slander Bob and Patrick Mahomes at the same time. I'm just going out guns blazing over here, guys.
I mean, what the heck? Jalen Reagor really has you tilting right now. This is crazy.
I mean, that was painful, man. Hey, on that one target he had, he was phenomenal. Okay.
I can't wait for him to come back. I want to see him with a larger sample size in the league, and I'm just urging for Reagor to be back in the lineup and waiting for this since he's been drafted or even before that. So just can't wait. This wide receiver rookie class,
it's been hitting.
It's been amazing so far from Lamb to
hey. You know what's had me tilting this season? Just to take you go in for a high note there, and I'm just going to drag you right back down.
Bombs over Baghdad, baby.
Just 2 words: Denzel Mims.
Oh yeah!
Now everyone feels like crap again, right?
That ended when he was drafted to Jets.
Man.
Once he laid eyes on Case, laid one eye on one of his eyes.
I now have a personal vendetta against the Jets. just to let you know how hard this has hit me and every single one of my teams. It's not like I was planning to play Denzel Mims, but like you said, the entire rookie class is going off, and there's just Mims in a corner like, hey guys, I got nothing.
I barely remember him anymore.
Come on,
He's just not there.
Can you practice at least? Nah.
No, I'm good.
I can't blame him.
Coach says that's not necessary around here. It's fine.
Have you? I did the really tilting thing today of Googling. Excuse me, not Googling. Doing a Twitter search of Denzel Mims' name.
Yeah. And
all the top tweets were, "Is Denzel Mims still alive? Has anybody seen Denzel Mims? Is he coming back in week 5?" It was just like a slew of just like, where's Denzel Mims?
I feel concerned for his safety at this point. I feel like we need to see a news conference with him holding a newspaper from that morning. That morning edition, just like, it's okay, guys, it's fine. Coach, it's gonna be fine. Like it was for the rest of the team with that coach. But anyway, yeah, damn, man. But yeah, every other rookie's great.
Yeah, but him, yeah.
I mean, but hold on. He hasn't played. He hasn't played a snap. That's fine.
That's actually a good thing because you don't want to be playing for base right now. It's probably a smart, but strategic.
Yeah, we should be saying thank you, Denzel Mims. Say it, Peter. Thank you, Denzel Mims.
Running backs that I got touted at 3 straight years about how historic this running back class is. Apart from those guys, everyone in this class is great. Yeah, apart from those guys. Thank you, Debbie, guys. Appreciate your hard work.
Oh my goodness.
Debbie this year. Really glad you told me about James Robinson for 3 years. Not J.K. Dobbins at all.
J.K. Dobbins all day.
Come on, guys. Get it together. Get it together. You got 2014, the second coming down the pipe, and you're like, hey, check out this Trent Richardson. He's going to be great. It's going to be great. Trade all of your picks for this guy. And we did. Brilliant.
Yeah, I like to completely fade running backs and just go all wide receivers and just have 20 wide receivers and like one running back and see what happens.
I love dynasty leagues where you only have to start one run, or just leagues where you have to start one running back is incredible. Yes.
Oh yeah.
That's so funny.
Shout out for undrafted free agents matter too, because I feel like this is the year that's really like, hey, he was right. Just saying, like all the undrafted free agents matter. Every last one.
James Robinson,
even Zach Pascal's holding off people in Indianapolis.
Yeah, a little bit.
Persistently 13-14% target share, as if he matters. Just saying.
As if
everyone's
indeed.
crying over Austin Eckler dying. Oh, why? Because an undrafted free agent matters? Weird. Weird. 24% of top 24 seasons. Bitches. I got a little darker at the end than I planned, but I kind of like it.
Yeah, you. I could definitely tell there was a vendetta. There was an axe to be ground there. I'm not really mad at it. Not really mad at it.
There has been like, and I'd have to pull it up, Gabe. And you're really gonna make me pull it up, but there's been a lot of lower drafted players killing it.
Yes.
He's just stomping all over people in Chicago. In terms of opportunity,
I don't know. Has he? I don't know.
Yeah.
The problem is now, Gabe. He's
like
now out snapping. He's now out snapping Anthony Miller. Like that's what makes me sad. Like this is what Anthony Miller's become.
Right. I know. Yeah. You just can't win.
Oh my gosh.
But a 5th round pick coming in and doing that's pretty cool. I mean, literally, teams don't draft players to start in that region of the draft. So if you're doing it, probably showing up pretty well in camp, probably showing up pretty well in the practice field, and I think his target share just jumped over Miller's as well. So.
Speaking of J-Mike, players drafted around that area that they don't typically draft to start. What happened to your boy Quintez Cephas? What happened to him?
Listen,
I've
Linda,
heard that
listen.
for a while since like week 1.
So
That was fun.
And remember, we talked about this. We talked about expectations, and your expectations of Quintez week 1 were much greater than my expectations of Quintez in week 1.
Okay.
And listen, we can roll back the tape, because I was the one that was shocked, because you were like, no, like I was expecting Quintez to be a part of the offense, and I was like,
Because Kenny Golladay was not there.
Point being, I'm still getting basically what I thought we'd be getting from Quintez at this juncture in the year, which was not much. He's still going to be, I think he's still going to be good, but like I wasn't expecting him. I definitely wasn't expecting 10 targets in week 1. And I'm very much expecting right now where he's just kind of like, hey,
Is he even playing?
Quintez?
Like, where are the snaps? I don't see any snaps for him. Okay, there are a few. All right, he's on the field.
It's kind of to the point.
Yeah. He's got he's doing special
as a
teams.
reference point.
Special teams, that's where he's at. Okay. Go ahead, Peter.
As a reference point, normally in that range of the draft, we're just hoping they stay on the roster through the first year. And now we're like, where's all his points? Because, lower drafted players kind of killing it this year.
Mhm.
Is it a part of the injuries, though? I haven't seen too much of that. The ones who are doing it seem to be doing it without too many injuries around them. But that was part of the conversation this offseason, right? There were going to be so many injuries that those lower depth players were going to become relevant because they catered targets or something.
I guess we didn't. Well, no, Peter, that's not a thing. We all know that. I would anticipating deeper rosters mattering because of COVID. But really, if a player gets aside from like Cam Newton and the Patriots, apparently, but that I wasn't expecting the team to shut down. It makes sense, obviously, and then the week to shut down for that team and their opponent, possibly even the following week. We'll see what happens with Titans and Bills, but like I guess I was anticipating more of like depth mattering, and I'm not sure if it does yet because they just kind of like suspend games and they get to play later type of thing. I don't know.
What's this going to do when we're like in week 14, week 15, and this happens? Like you only got so many weeks to be able to move these games around. How's that going to work out?
Right.
It's over.
We just cancel it. Sorry, Bengals. You got a 14-game season. You only won 7 games anyway. 3 games anyway. So
they pick about 20 teams and they invite them to a bubble in Jerry World.
Jerry World would be a perfect place. They'll still have fans.
He's banking on that. He can't wait.
He wants a bubble real bad.
Can we have the teams that aren't as good, like in a secondary bubble in Vegas?
Yes.
Oh, that stadium is sweet.
Okay, it is. Sweet.
I love that.
That is very sweet.
And so I get that like side view of their stadium, those black seats, and then the glass in like the upper corners of the end zone. That it's so sweet to look at. I'm watching them play the Bills was just fun, just to see the stadium, not the game.
Yeah, still not great in Vegas, sadly.
What is that? A bomb?
Oh no. Did you do that, or did Zach send that to you?
Zach posted that on Twitter already publicly. It is out there. Hello, hey. We need to start drops on this show. Damn it!
Oh my gosh, Zach, you rascally rascal.
Mm-hmm.
Casey McCoy mentioned Lynn Bowden in the chat, and that was an interesting name that people have a lot of hope for, including me. Statistically, he was a pretty good producer. If we're going to go back to rookies for a second, as I think Gabe suggested. But Ray GQ from where does he work now? Fantasy Points, something like that. He mentioned something interesting, which was that him as a person was someone who didn't have a great work ethic. It was a basic story. I'd really check out Ray GQ's podcast to find out more information about that. But that was basically the story. And that's interesting because he has already been traded. Teams seem to be finding a similar thing with him. So that seems to be the problem. It's a matter of he was excelling on athletic gifts, and that's not enough when you go to the NFL. And I found that interesting. So the type of stuff that will be interesting for David folk to focus on instead of too early data they don't seem to understand. Joking. Yeah, I really like that kind of team, like behind the scenes look at who a player is, because that's kind of the stuff we don't really know since we don't know these players. But that might be something to do with what's going on with Lynn Bowden.
Makes sense. It's kind of like Christine Michael from back in the day, where like he was supposed to show up wearing a suit and never did, and Chase Garrett kicked him off the bus, and just doing unforeseen things and not showing up, not knowing plays and showing up to things on time. So
right.
Yeah. Being an idiot doesn't help when that matters, when you got to be professional.
I hear it's a problem.
Yeah.
Although personally, it's way great for me.
Word on the street. Being an idiot, not good.
maybe they literally saw running back next to his name and like just thought that, yeah, we kind of need that because we're not going to throw to Josh Jacobs, so he's probably a pass catcher.
It might be, but I don't think you trade him like literally in his first year. Like, what was it, before the season or in the first week? Like,
Before
normally
the season,
like, they stick around for a while to try and see if they can pick it up. But they were like, no, kind of done with this guy. But then again, they were also done with Amari Cooper, so they're not the brightest franchise.
And that's one of the kickers, right? My mom would always tell me growing up, hey, consider the source. Consider the source.
Right.
It's about what someone says. It's about like, but also who is this coming from? So when you're looking at Las Vegas, who's many questionable decisions, obviously you can say taking him when they did in the third round might have been questionable because like you know what position he'd have, but then also trading him and taking like major loss on that out the gate, like how much sense does that make?
No, I think I finally understood the Raiders as a team. It's like ever since Gruden took over there, I've been like, what's going on here? None of these decisions make sense, but some of them seem to work out, like Waller and shit like that. And I figured it out is when I heard Tacit Assassin Zach Reed in the chat right now talking about Sam Darnold. It's terrible, 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 incredible moonshot, perfectly landed, terrible, terrible, terrible. So that's basically the Raiders. Like they're just we swear on this podcast. They're just messing around, rolling around in the dirt, thinking they're having fun, looking like idiots, and then occasionally they roll over a gold nugget, and they're like, "Hey, look, I did that intentionally." Like continuously not targeting one of the best pass-catching running backs in that draft and throughout his rookie season, but then suddenly starting to target him this season. That's honestly a moonshot for that offense. That's a really good thing for the offense, and I think they just lucked into it. I think they just luck into things like kind of randomly, and the rest of it's just terrible. And that makes that team makes so much more sense to me. It's like, oh, they're that guy. They just continually messing up, never make a good decision, dumb as a prick, and then occasionally they just pull out the perfect answer to something. Like, how did you do that? It's just luck.
You're talking about me pretty much.
You're just calling out all sorts of people.
It might have been me looking at you while doing this podcast that gave me the thought, or Zach Reed, one or the other. But yeah, that basically.
If you're in a league with Peter and you're wondering, am I that person? You just answered your own question.
Yep.
You are that person.
Rare. There's not one in every league or one in every workplace. You work in enough places, eventually you find this guy, you can't understand why he's hired. He doesn't know the job, he gets everything wrong, and then one day there's a problem no one can fix, and he's just like gumming a doorknob somewhere, and that turns out to trigger the right series of coincidences that solves the problem. You're like, oh, that's why he's here. It's the gumming the doorknob guy.
Let me ask you guys this. Gabe, we're gonna play your favorite game, one word answer. One word answers. All right, chat. You're also into this again. One word answers. You are, each of you, all of you, the proverbial you, the royal you, are all the heads of franchises. Okay? You're the head of the franchise. GM, owner, everything goes through you. Here's the game today. I want you to tell me which job you'd rather have with currently what's going on in that place. Because when we started going on Sam Darnold and the mess that's going on there, we started talking about Vegas. God. I'm really intrigued by the muck. I want to get in the slop. Put me all in the slop right now, okay? In the muck, the mire, the nook, the cranny, all of it. Bring it here. All right. One word answers. We'll go around the horn. Which would you rather be the head of the franchise for? Would you rather be the head of the franchise for either the Jets or the Raiders?
Wait. I have some follow-up questions. Yes. Do I get to look in Adam
Winner, winner.
Gase's stupid face
You
while I
get
fire
everything,
him.
Peter. You get everything that
So
comes.
I get to
with it.
watch him break at a core level like he deserves.
You get to watch his eyes start like going and doing all that mess.
Like I get to make up the
fire
speech
him.
that I used to fire him. Right.
Yes. So
Yeah, that
so
one.
Bruce, you go first.
Raiders.
Peter.
Yeah, it's Jets. 100%.
Who I want to be in front?
Who would you rather be the head of the franchise for?
The Raiders.
Who would you
I
rather?
get it. You all like Easy Street. It's fine.
You
don't like a challenge.
You don't like a good R squared. I see.
You're
What's
like,
going on here.
we're allowed to go.
Look,
You know,
2020 has been enough. I don't need the Jets on my
Denzel
shoulders.
Mims.
Okay. I don't need to force Denzel Mims into being a thing.
I'd rather have Brian Edwards.
he's becoming a thing. No, I think you're underrating the value of firing Adam Gase, like you in a room personally, 6 feet apart, obviously wearing masks, but he has to take his off so you can watch his full expression while you explain he will never work in this league again for as long as you live. Ever. He's not even allowed to work at a Foot Locker.
Right.
I think you're underrating that experience. But also, you just, practically have a longer leash. You do not have to do much to raise the bar there, which earns you a little grace. You even if Sam Darnold isn't what the floor of his potential we hoped it could be, you have a little leeway to find your own quarterback. Derek Carr you're locked into because he's decent. Just from a practical level, I think you can do more with the Jets. And there's some decent talent there and some room to move. That's what I do. Also, you don't have to deal with whatever the hell Gruden did to his office, I'd hate to think.
I'm not even going to try to picture that. This is my last one because basically I want to figure out who's the worst, like the worst of all these situations. And I think this might be the best one at this point.
The Raiders are clearly a better team, like by clear margin.
No, everything.
Don't get me wrong.
The situation, the entire situation. Like, which one would you rather have? So, if you rather have the Jets, that's cool. So, which would you rather have? Would you rather be the head of the franchise of the Jets or the Bears? Now,
you should get this Zach guy on. He's funny. Sorry, Karen.
Before you answer, I just want to throw this out there. Please remember, I was looking at this earlier yesterday. Do you all know who the best player on the Bears offense is? Trick question. Allen Robinson. Yes, we all know. Everyone knows. Allen Robinson.
I thought you were going to say a different team there, and I was confused.
No,
yeah.
No,
I think everyone knows
no
that
curveball. I wanted you to get this one right without question.
Like that's so easy, unsuspicious,
Right. Wait a second.
Which tight end?
I will not say Allen Robinson because you, sir,
he's just been traded and something.
You will not trick me today. So, Allen Robinson has this is last year, quiet as it's kept. He signed that 3-year extension. His last year in Chicago is current. So when we look up at their offense next year, we're looking at them not knowing what they're doing at quarterback. We're looking at the offensive line still being pretty rough. We're looking at the wide receiver one being Darnell Mooney, which, hey, we like Darnell Mooney. He's a good player.
Don't forget about Riley Ridley. Yeah, he was coming out.
Riley Ridley, Javon Wims.
I will never forget about Riley Ridley. Hey, Riley, other Riley. So that was fun.
Riley Bymaster and Riley Ridley. The Riley stick together. And we're looking at David Montgomery and the unfortunate coming back of Tariq Cohen, who's just been paid. And I'm just saying all this for context. And I'm just curious, who would you rather be the head of the franchise for? The Bears or the Jets? Gabe.
They traded away picks too.
Bro, it's a rough.
Oh, this is what word.
They're bad at managing a team. I think the Jets are just kind of bad at
top to bottom.
Like
really.
they're just it's just a bummer that they're in the AFC East, really. And now that there might be an opportunity for that to change. But they just, like Pete said, had to get rid of Gase. Like once Pete started talking about the Gase thing, I started I sat back and I was like, maybe I'd switch and I would take the Jets versus the Raiders.
Just look at his stupid little face while it does that thing, where it's a face, but it's Adam Gase.
Face. I know. It's just both. I think both. It's funny that they traded with each other, but I think the Raiders and the Bears are not good at managing teams. And I'm not sure that the Jets are either, but I just don't think we've necessarily seen it yet. I do think they've always had there's been years in the past, like watching football in the past 15 years where they've had like kind of decent teams of defense and like kind of decent like schemes of I don't know. I just don't know if I just feel so bad for Sam Darnold, man. I just don't think we've seen it yet. Really. Like that's the best QB, honestly, of the three teams. That's where I'd feel most comfortable, which is kind of weird. Like Derek Carr is bad. That's where I might like be scared to be owning the Raiders, is that I'd be stuck to Derek Carr for another like 3 years. You
got Mariota.
Right. Yeah, of course. Great. And then the Bears are going to decide between like Brian Hoyer and Ryan Fitzpatrick next year or something, like they just can't figure out a QB situation and will never draft a good, I don't know, man. What was the question? I pick the Jets. I want to
you want to run?
Manage.
You want to run the Jets?
Yeah. I do.
Pedro.
Difficult. That's more difficult.
The Bears are 3-1. This is weird that we're having this conversation.
You don't get to fire Gase. That's really the thing. I
love how you're
no. Quick interlude. Right, I got it. I got another aspect to how I would do it. Peyton Manning's doing commercials at this point. He's got to be hireable. He's in the room while you do it. Right? Not just firing him, but while Peyton Manning looks on like, you deserve this. You deserve everything that's coming to you. Or better yet, you have Peyton Manning do it, but you're there so you can watch. And he explains how he was the worst part of his Super Bowl campaign. And anyway, but Peyton Manning's definitely going to be involved. I'm looking forward to this job opportunity that you've offered me. Let's just say I got a lot of ideas, mainly about how to fire the coach. So, send over the contract. Bears or Jets? It's more difficult there because I think Trubisky just feels a little more locked in. You need QB change. You just do. Trubisky's good. He's decent. Derek Carr is probably better. It depends how you evaluate quarterback, which I don't, so it's hard to do. But Derek Carr is certainly someone. He's at the Andy Dalton line. You don't want to get rid of him. You don't want to keep him. And Trubisky's a little below that, because he needs an offense built around him, and I wouldn't be interested in doing that. And because I got Allen Robinson, but if you're not going to keep your quarterback, you've got to have Allen Robinson wait at least a year until you get someone good in there. It's not ideal. I think Allen Robinson needs out more than anything else, unless Foles. No, he needs out. But I do like the franchise better. It's got a better defense, got a better scheme, it's got a better mind. It's not bad top to bottom like the Jets. Like, you literally just gut the Jets and probably win a couple more games. Just gut everyone in charge of every decision and let the players just do what they want on the field, and you'll probably win more games. And so it's just a really low bar to improve in year one. And then you can just start acquiring draft capital. Well, the Bears, no, it's a decent franchise. They've got some solid decision makers. They've got some great players. So if I'm going to not game theory it and just say who's a better franchise I want, it would be the Bears. But in terms of, job prospects, I think you can do more with the Jets because it's trash. It's honestly a trash fire. It's the type of team you ask, why are they still playing football? Shouldn't they convert to a netball team or something? Like, wouldn't they be better off financially just to be a netball team for the next couple of years and then come back strong? I don't know if Americans know what netball is. This is
what are you saying, Peter?
Volleyball. You know that one? Okay. basically.
Table tennis?
So yeah, I just see a lot of potential because of the utter dumpster fire that is the Jets. So I'm probably going to stick with my original answer. But again, the Bears are clearly a better team.
All right.
Peyton Manning can sing that little commercial jingle while you fire him, just to like weird him out and get ultra triggering. Like, State Farm is here, and you're like, you're terrible, you're the worst coach ever.
State Farm is
What's
here.
going on right now? I don't know, but I'm going to break you.
Chicken parm. It
See what I see? You see what I'm going for there? Oh, and Le'Veon Bell's definitely in the room.
Oh,
Like holding his contract as he tears it, right?
Le'Veon Bell's got to be
State
there.
Farm is here.
I have to send some emails. Yeah.
I'm also choosing the Jets, but not for football reasons. I kind of want to brag to Gary Vee that I am the Jets owner and he's not, since that's his life dream, and I'm just going to rub it into his face. I should have chose it the first time because that is a huge motivation of choosing the Jets. Also becoming his friend and then just bragging about it every single day. And being
Just
like, you can have this now. I'm not selling.
Yeah.
I'm younger than you and I'll outlive you. And that's it. You got to have a new goal, buddy.
Gabe, what's that Kanye album? The My Dark, Beautiful, Twisted, whatever. Like,
My
I feel like that's
Beautiful,
what we just
Dark,
went through.
Twisted Yeah.
Between Bruce and Peter, like it was just the most sadistic masochist, like just wild
No, that's
stuff.
the thing, though. Like, there's very few people I would even say I mean weird to in real life, like legitimately. But Adam Gase, I could get behind that. I mean,
Taco Bell night.
that
What
man's
do I try to get from
literally
Taco Bell,
ruined
guys?
and talk bad about them while he did it. He's the type of guy who blames the player who has no fucking shot in the offense that Gase is running. Like, this guy's terrible. It's one of the best running backs who ever played in the league. He's terrible. It's not my fault, certainly. Like, fuck that guy, man. If you can't own your own mistakes, I got no time for you, man.
Bruce, what did you say? What did you order?
I got, why should bring back Taco Bell? What should I get? Serious question.
Cheesy Gordita Crunch. Haven't had one in years, but those were awesome. Once upon a time.
Can we see this dog, by the way? I'm a big fan.
Which one?
Whichever one's talking at me.
I'll get her. I'll get her real quick for you.
All right.
And her.
That was such a fun exercise. I was not expecting to get that much vitriol.
Can you go further with that? Because I've never really thought of myself as the head of any franchise or really of anything, because it's a bad idea, just all round.
Cavalier Control Spaniel.
But like, what team would you want to take over? Oh, that's awesome. Hey, buddy.
I don't think I'm ever on a podcast without this dog barking. It's just, she knows I'm on that microphone and she lets it rip. Isn't that right?
Beautiful dog.
He's got to let him know.
And you just got to be heard, don't you?
Hey, buddy.
I'll let you down so you can do your thing.
Beautiful.
What was the dog's name?
Murph.
Murph?
Mm-hmm.
What's up?
Okay. Real quick, Bruce.
Oh, shoot. I got your headphones on.
Yeah. Bruce, real quick, the couple options in the chat for your Taco Bell order. Casey says the Beefy 5.
Beefy 5.
I don't even know what that is.
Me neither, but we're gonna roll with it.
The Beefy 5-layer?
5-layer burrito?
Yeah.
Oh, 5-layer. Okay.
Everything is misspelled in this text. So,
and then Josh Jordan, Double J says the beef Mexi melt. So,
Mexi.
I don't know the last time I had Taco Bell though. Man, it's been a long time.
I don't either.
I have no opinion on that. Could I ask, what franchise would you like to take over? Because the obvious answer is the Chiefs, but honestly, I wouldn't risk it for the world. Like, I'm not messing with anything there. It's perfect. Leave it alone.
Don't screw this up.
So, like, is there a franchise you would like to take over?
Is there some sort of like team that's kind of middle of the road that
like it just needs a little
you'd feel comfortable?
You know
a little, a little bump, just a little
love,
like nudge,
like even some fantasy
just
guy
little,
can figure this out. It'd be fun.
maybe a little peppercorn,
Oh, okay.
Ooh.
Yeah, huh?
Fresh peppercorn. Okay, then. Okay. Can I say Arizona?
That's a
what do
fun
you
one.
think needs tweaking?
Well,
I think it's Adam Gase like.
Whoa,
there's that.
whoa.
But
There is no need to throw that name around this so casually, okay?
Slander and libel and slander. Steve Keim is bad, like objectively bad, like really bad. He had the DeAndre Hopkins thing fall in his lap, as did Kyler. Like, like those were not things that he was just like, oh man, look at me crushing life because I'm making so many great decisions. He's awful, like truly awful. So, I would start there. I would the same way that you feel, Peter, about letting Gase go would be the exact same way. Like I would dip into this really. I'm really upset that you asked this question because I didn't want to go here. I didn't want to do this. But
I like that.
Steve Keim is a horrendous GM and an incredibly awful human to boot in general. And I would take great pleasure in packing his bags for him, giving him whatever payout he's deserving of that his contract says he's supposed to get, and telling him to kick rocks all the way from Phoenix to New Haven, Connecticut and back if he wants, up to him. I don't even know what's in New Haven, Connecticut. I just wanted to be able to say you can just walk all the way across the country in a diagonal line and do whatever you want to do. And maybe if you're up for it, go visit the Dynasty Dummies over in Maine. Give Bob Gilchrist a shout out, AB, all of our friends there. And just get you some beefy 5 layers, Mexi melts, cheesy gordita crunches, anything, but run this Arizona franchise because this is not okay. I'm sorry. I'm done.
No, it's good. I don't know a lot of GMs or coaches. I spend so little time considering the actual people who make decisions. So it's good to know. Good to know he's terrible. Appreciate it. Anyone else got a team that you think just needs something that you could actually put into effect relatively simply? You know, within our capabilities, if you were in charge. Like, you don't need to change the whole thing. You don't need to find the next Patrick Mahomes. You just need to.
I think the Browns would be kind of easy. I think I would gut the coaching staff. And the one piece I really kind of would want there is John DeFilippo. And I just want to pass the ball like crazy in there. Just let Mayfield loose. And what happens. If we fall on a grenade, we fall on a grenade. If he goes off with OBJ and Landry, then let it happen. But I would want Cleveland to be more air raid.
I'm trying to be fairer to coaches, despite what I said about Adam Gase, because that's just obvious. And I think Baker Mayfield has problems, and I hate it because he's the ultimate, blue collar worker story, walk on candidate, and all that. But I'm trying to be fair to the coaches, and if this is what they're doing with him, the problem I think is probably Mayfield, and I hate that. Because you're right, that offense is so stacked, but that makes it a QB problem, and I would be trying to avoid any QB problem because that's basically the piece you can't really estimate well, and I have no idea how you find a good quarterback. I have no idea. Everything changes, by the way, if we like. The Los Angeles Chargers coaches hate Herbert, right? Like, he literally, and I know I can't swear on this podcast because it's pure clean and everything else, so get the bleep up ready. Because there is no other way of describing this, J. Mike. And you know it.
Wait before you say it.
He fucked their wives and sisters at the same time in an orgy while their children watched. That is the only explanation for the way they're treating Justin Herbert. The only one. I hate saying it, but I can come up with literally no other logical reason to why you would see a rookie quarterback perform this well and be like, yeah, well, he was a backup for a reason. You just drafted him the first. Anyway, that's the only explanation I can come up with. So if they really hate him that much, that means he's for trade, and that changes every other decision for me. If you can get Justin Herbert, having seen him in the NFL a little bit, that's more advantageous to any rookie quarterback. because we know more about him, and he's been pretty decent for a rookie quarterback. If I can get him on the Jets, if he's available for trade, if I can get him on the Bears, then suddenly all those teams look better. Even the Browns, and I hate to say that about Mayfield because I had a lot of hope for him. I really quietened the mood around here, didn't I? I can feel it. I'm like, you went too far, Pete. Okay.
I couldn't handle
Can't say I didn't try.
reading this message here in the sidebar of messages that exists. Oh my goodness.
Zach,
I know what our draft is tonight, that's for sure. Yeah, buddy. Is
there's literally no way he hasn't offended them on a personal level.
How's
somehow, right?
is Herbert okay? Is he good? Is he kind of good? I think he's kind of good.
Rookie quarterback.
J Mike, this is what we were talking about, man.
I thought he's been looking pretty decent for a rookie.
I mean,
he's the one. He is this year's Neo from the Matrix.
Yeah,
he's the one.
But he doesn't necessarily like seem that bad. He kind of looks okay. Like Josh Allen, bad, still bad. Not believing it. Gonna die on that. I'm gonna die on that. I'm ready. I am ready to give my body.
Anyone who watches
Trubisky,
can you confirm this? Because I asked Zach, and he said he's actually completing at a higher rate. It's weird that a film guy went to a stat, but
I mean, look, some of his throws that he's made is like, that is what we thought was like the upside there, and that's pretty neat for him. You know, we'll see if it keeps up. It's just hard to get that taste out of your mouth, man. You know how that goes, right?
That's enough for me. I'm back on the hate train. It's fine.
Yeah, that's good.
Gabe says so. I'm all in.
It's hard, man. I just said get that taste out of your mouth, and it's hard within the last 30 seconds. Trubisky, Trubisky though, that turducken, huh?
That
turducken is something, huh? We're gonna have a turducken draft. We can do it right now.
God.
Here's the thing about Tyrod, though, Zach. He's pretty decent. It's a weird thing. Like, Tyrod could probably use a job somewhere in this NFL. There's someone that's not as good as Tyrod as starting quarterback wise. But yeah,
how does this happen every single year to Tyrod?
I'm trying to get better at respecting coaches, but my immediate assumption is that coaches suck. Sorry, I'm not that much better.
I think the Chargers could actually be the answer to your question there, Peter. Since apparently Lynn hates Herbert, and I don't know. It seems like the Chargers just don't. I don't necessarily think they should have re-signed our boy Melvin J. Mike, and I also don't necessarily think they should have done that for Eckler either. I don't know if they. I'm okay with the Keenan Allen move, and that's pretty much all that I'm happy about. But I still like Mike Williams. I like Hunter Henry. I think there's a lot of good pieces around, but why are they not good? And so
clearly their entire medical staff needs to be fired and never allowed to practice medicine.
Well, there was like some actual real like history to that is accurate as to like why they should be gone, like bad stuff. So
what sticks in my mind though as a team and Lynn is that they're doing effective things. And number one, what sticks in my mind is that they held up the Chiefs for at least, what was it, 3/4 of a game, and that's honestly an impressive thing in this league. They really seem to stymie the Chiefs for a little while.
That's Herbert's first game as a starter too,
right?
Yeah.
Tough shootout to beat it.
All right, Gabe.
I play DFS for fun. Like, I'm terrible at it, but I enjoy wasting my money and giving it to the people who play against me. And every time I come to start someone against the Chargers, I'm like, yeah, but they slowed down Patrick Mahomes. That's honestly a thought that occurs to me. It's like, if they can slow down Patrick Mahomes for a second, like, I'm worried about everyone facing them. That's illogical, right? I shouldn't do that. I mean, right? Kind of makes sense. You know what I mean? You know what I mean?
I mean, all of the players on the Chiefs still did pretty well that game, though, right? I mean,
eventually, because it's Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs. I mean,
yeah.
But
right, I know. Yeah, true.
Just a thing that sticks in my mind that they did that.
Ty God.
Don't let our homie Nate Hamilton see this. He'll get real upset. Tell you where Tyrod should be. And I'll give you 2 words. It is golden, but it's certainly not a Chargers jersey. It is the Corral. Golden Corral is what he says. Tyrod should be. Anyway, Gabe.
That's so mean.
Wow.
It is. It's really cold. It's cold. It's cold blooded.
That's. I mean, it's not as bad as my Adam Gase hate, but it's pretty bad.
Yeah.
You want a lot of people in the room to be there for that firing. There's something to that.
It's got to be on pay-per-view.
ESPN Plus.
That'd be something.
Yes, you got to be wearing a GoPro, like on your hat or something.
Like the decision, the LeBron type of decision. He's sitting in his high chair, in his director's chair.
The firing.
Yeah, the firing.
Can I?
Oh, that would be. I'd pay. I would pay. I'd pay.
As someone who knows literally nothing about basketball, I'm going to have an opinion on it, obviously, because I live on Twitter, and that's what we do. We have opinions on things we don't know about. Why does anyone not like LeBron? Like, I don't know anything about basketball, but I do know something about what he's accomplished compared to history.
Exactly
you can't
that.
stop me researching stats.
That's why they hate him. That right there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Is that what he's accomplished? People hate success.
Haters get away. Okay.
You know that.
How did Michael Jackson get away with it? Not Michael Jackson. Who am I?
Michael Jordan.
Michael Jordan. Thank you.
Didn't. Are you
literally nothing about basketball, but Michael Jordan seems to be like an American hero, and he seems like
now, yeah. Once you retire, it's
was that
everyone loves you, but in the 90s, everyone hated Michael Jordan.
Okay, I didn't know that.
Possibly, maybe not as much as LeBron, just because LeBron lives in a different generation, and the odds are kind of against him in a way.
Yeah. As an Englishman, my experience with Michael Jordan was like Space Jam. So it's like, oh, he's cool enough to hang out with Bugs Bunny. Okay, Americans love it. That was my whole understanding.
I know, Zach. This totally hit me too. I was like, where is he taking this, dude?
Do I not get owned enough?
Michael Jackson got away with a lot of stuff.
It's like, is Michael Jackson in the room now with Adam Gase? Like, what is this?
I just came up with a whole other plan.
Royal Rumble.
That's Neverland right there.
We're not going.
We've got Lisa Marie Presley holding the urn of Michael Jackson while Peyton Manning sings a song written by Brad Paisley and rapped by Le'Veon Bell for Adam Gates' firing.
I like the song idea, but it's got to be State Farm is here. I'm sorry. That's just a dystopian effect of this random jingle. Like, I got to have it.
Yeah.
You're the weakest link. Goodbye.
At this point, the room's going to be so crowded, I think the effect's going to be lost. We have to thin the gas.
It's going to be so impersonal. You're going to finish and you're going to be like, this wasn't near as satisfying as I had hoped.
Or it's a week-long firing with 7 different meetings. I don't mind this idea, but it needs work.
You got to build them up before you cut them down. So the first 3 days, we're telling them all the good things it did, which isn't that much, but it's going to be painful for us. But Thursday and Friday is just going to be great on our end. I like that.
Listen, Adam, I know you've been anticipating this all week, and I'm just not sold. I'm going to have to wait until tomorrow. I'm just going to have to wait.
Yeah.
Anyway, Gabe, I'm sorry.
At the end of the episode.
Yes, draft us.
I don't know, man. We're doing a turducken draft for sure. I think that's. Do you think we could possibly come up with some sort of concoction that is equivalent to a turducken, like that is food related? Possibly. Do we think we could come up with that? on our own, just right away? Are there any turducken equivalents? Don't say them out loud. Just like, is there something that is one thing inside of the other thing inside of another thing that is like, that kind of sounds good. You can even make it up. Like, it doesn't have to be real. I don't think a turducken is necessarily real. It's just kind of, made up. Like, no way. So we would, okay, sure, let's do it. I decided we're going to make that up. It can be real. It can be fake. I don't care what it is, but it's your turducken equivalent. You need to have 3 items. Or foods and liquids included. Sure, whatever. One inside of the other, right? Your what are the Russian dolls called? What's that?
Russian dolls.
Russian. Are they just called Russian dolls? The Russian doll's name. Let me look here. Matryoshka. Matryoshka. I don't know Russian very well.
I like the way you're looking it up like the rest of us know, and you just want to get it right. You can say anything right now, and we'd be like, "Yeah, that's not a show."
So this is our Matryoshka draft. Assuming that's how you
them Russian nesting dolls.
Assuming that's how you pronounce it. So you need to come up with your Matryoshka. What is something inside of something that makes you happy? Could be food. Could be a thought. Could be anything, really. It's up to you. Be creative. This is your time to shine. Russian nesting dolls. Yeah, true. But like, I looked up the word, and maybe like I'm looking it up right now. Matryoshka. Matryoshka. It literally means little matron. Okay, but anyway, a thing inside of a thing inside of a thing. That is the goal. You also have to compare that to a situation in the NFL currently, whether that be some sort of offense, possibly a player with depths to his game. Okay, this one's tough, J Mike. This might be one of our tougher drafs, honestly.
I'm sorry. Now we're stuffing players in players.
Yeah.
I'm lost.
No, I'm lost. I'm
like
lost.
I had my answer, and now I'm just
okay. So, just for example here, if I were to take the 101 and say turducken, right? I don't know the order in which those birds are placed inside of each other, but I know that it's a turkey, a duck, and a chicken. Maybe it's that order. Or I guess turkey's probably the biggest, so it'd be like chicken inside of the duck inside of the turkey. I would think turkey's the biggest, right? Or I mean, ducks are kind of big, but no, it's probably
not turkey big.
Yeah, not turkey big. All right, so you get it. A thing inside of a thing inside of a thing, and then I'd be like,
the bone to get to the duck. That seems counterproductive.
We don't make the rules, bro.
I know.
Okay.
We just report the news.
Yeah. And then my example would be the 3 teams that we were talking about that we apparently hate the most on this show is the Raiders are inside of the Jets, which are inside of the Bears. And
I don't hate the Raiders, man. The gumming the doorknob guy is a lot of fun when you don't actually want to do any work.
Pete, I mean, it's just an example, man.
I'm just saying.
Matryoshka dolls. I think.
I don't need Raiders fans coming from my head, okay? I'm not very.
I need to figure out how to pronounce it now. Now I just feel ignorant, and it's gonna bother me. All right, so we only have 4 people here, so I better think of something quickly. But is one of my guests? Not my guest. Sorry, J Mike. This is not my show. It is our show. Which one of you would like to take the 101?
I'll take it.
Okay.
I'm ready. I'm ready.
Ooh, he is ready. I'm excited.
Fired up.
Matryoshka, by the way. Matryoshka.
So, thinking outside the box here, we've all, well, at least some of us, has been playing really heavily in NCAA 2014. If at least seen Thor play the clips on Twitter. And since that's the only college game out to play, well, how about we roll that video game out in the NFL 2K5 engine. If you remember that, ESPN 2K5, that game was fired. Realistic graphics, but engine. And then we're going to roll that into the next-gen consoles, the PS5s, whatever the new Xbox is. We're going to roll that. That would be straight fire. And I understand 2K had NCAA 2K3, but that was an older engine. We want the 2K5 engine, or even the 2008 game engine, the NFL All-Star game on Xbox 360. That game was dope, but it didn't have the NFL players in it, but it was very realistic. And then we would be able to play Rashad Bateman, Jamar Chase, Rondale Moore, Najee Harris, Travis Etienne, Chuba Hubbard. Realistic graphics, realistic physics, not the animation from Madden or what NCAA would have if it was in now. And it would be the greatest thing ever. And I just lost my headphones because I was so excited.
I listen, for those who rock with the open bar, who recognize that we have a lot of fun with drafts, and sometimes when people make analogies, they do a fantastic job. I don't know if you all understand the depth, the level of sheer home runnedness that just took place. This is Babe Ruth calling his shot. This is pitching to Barry Bonds in his giant dome. No, this is just pitching to Barry Bonds, period. This is King Griffey in Seattle. This was the sweetest swing that you will see in a draft on the open bar ever. That was listen.
I would like to say
if you know, you know.
Record.
Yeah.
YK. If you know, you know. That was great, Bruce. Legitimately outstanding. Because you're exactly right. The 2K5 engine is still something that nobody's been able to do anything with.
Man, Madden right now has been on a really big downswing. There's been like drop EA trending on Twitter left and right. And this is something we need in the video game market to begin with. I know 2K is coming out with a game right now, but it's not really like simulation football, and it hasn't even came out yet. So we're already in the season. So I really would like 2K to take over, especially college side.
As the chat is even saying, there's nothing left to be said. I feel like that's one of the 101s. This is like, oh, there was one good player in the draft and you took him. And
right.
Yeah.
That was fun. Thanks.
You're welcome, guys. Hey, Peter, I know you haven't played 2K5. Just look that up on YouTube. It's a great game.
You'll appreciate it, Peter. It was ahead of its time.
I have no idea what you're talking about right now, but it's awesome. Obviously, I feel it sounds awesome.
All right, Adam Gates' boss, you're up.
Yep.
Is that Gabe?
Boss.
I was just gonna say. It's like,
no.
After having it clearly explained to me twice and having two very good examples apparently thrown at me, I would like to officially state that I have no idea what's going on. So, my first thought was haggis, because that's just obviously the other food that relates to turducken, because it's a minced heart, lungs, and liver of a sheep or a calf stuffed inside each other. But I see now that I'm very off base with that example. So
that's perfect.
That's
good. How about
that's it?
Then someone said player, and I'm like, David Montgomery, easily, because that's an easy callback to how bad commentators are for the NFL. They get paid lots of money to do it. And you can say that David Montgomery has the heart of Saquon Barkley and the hands of LaShawn McCoy and the liver, I guess, of David Johnson. And everyone gets a chuckle out of how bad commentators are. But honestly, after hearing the two examples, I think I'm just going to have to pass. I don't know what's going on right now, and I am clearly just I clearly don't have it. Like, I apologize. I don't understand this exercise. This is why I sucked at game night too. I don't understand complex things. You got to give it to me straight. What do you want?
You just exhibited a very clear handle. You just exhibited a very clear handle of the game. I think that you nailed it. Well done.
Well, it was accidental, and I'd like to apologize for accidentally getting it right, because that's the worst thing. That's the worst thing ever.
I thought it was perfect.
You should have this Zach guy on. He's hilarious.
Zach is beautiful.
Bob.
We didn't have
Bob
Zach.
So, wait, Pete, is that
Casey killing it?
What was the, say it again, the food? What was it?
Haggis.
So is that
the Scottish dish where you stuff the heart, liver, and lungs of an animal inside the stomach and you eat it?
Okay, so is
Scottish are genuinely tougher than anyone else on earth, as far as I can tell. Dang.
And is that where I don't know where I've seen it. I think my brother's a chef, and he told me, I don't know if this is the same thing, but he's told me about something where like it's like the scariest, like weirdest process. I don't know if this is it, but like they stuff. They like make this goose or duck or something like they give them this chemical to make them like basically not have a gag reflex so that they can just like shove it down their throat and make this happen. Is that the same thing that we're talking about?
Doesn't sound like what I'm talking about, but I'm now infinitely fascinated by both you and your brother at the same time.
I'm gonna try and get that from my brother before the show ends,
and I mean that in a way, streaming from J Mike's bedroom right now. Now is the time, kind of a way. You know what I mean?
That Gabe, that process is that's for foie gras, right? Yeah, foie gras.
Oh yeah, I have heard that. Yes, it's horrific. Like, we should stop.
How blah 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 that it is like fancy and shit, but that it's like absolutely disgusting. Yeah, you got it, J Mike.
No,
I take your
haggis is a very old recipe. It's like an easy joke, I guess, in English commentary, since you guys don't know what it is. But it's literally this dish that sounds horrific, but it's a very traditional Scottish dish where you stuff the heart, liver, and lungs of an animal inside their stomach. I guess it would be a chef's like challenge, because I imagine it's pretty hard to make that taste good. So I guess a lot of chefs would do that to prove they can. I don't know. But yeah, it's a very old traditional Scottish recipe, to my understanding.
Okay.
It's very different than foie gras, which is rich people going, I'm bored of all the best things in the world. Let's stuff things in other things. That's a different thing, and that's a very different thing.
I could not believe it when he was telling me that is how they did that, and it was like, okay. I don't know. I didn't know where to sit on. I think I did become vegan for about a day.
Yeah, I would do it. Yeah.
Vegan for a day. I've watched. There was some special I watched on. I don't know if it was Nat Geo or something, where they showed the process, or maybe it was like a BBC with what's his name, the David Attenborough. Something I was watching.
I love the way you were just like, the guy on BBC, like the three of them. I'm sure
I couldn't think
like
of
a whole thing.
No, I couldn't think of his name. Attenborough, David Attenborough. Anyway, they did a special on like showing how that happened, and it was weird and scary and horror bad, truthfully, to watch how they stuffed food.
Weird aside for the thing that seems to be getting darker and more away from where we want to be. But you guys have kids, at least most of you, I believe. Did any of you have to watch the How It's Made videos? Not have to, but you wanted to make your kids watch some educational programming. But in America, one of them is like how this is made, like where toilet paper comes from or where sewage goes after it. And it shows you the like industrial process that's behind it. One, eye-opening to the amount we're dependent on literally just to get my waste to the sewer. It takes like all this. It's amazing. But I like becoming addicted to them when my kids were like real young, so watching them. And they're fascinating. They're meant to be the boring things that you get forced to watch in school, but they're amazing. And that just reminds me of the, I guess, BBC documentary on how it's made or how it happens thing. Did any of you watch any of those? Because they're like available at Redbox these days, and I highly recommend them. If you're an old, boring adult like me, there is no better comfort viewing to watching this very safe, very NPR sounding announcer just talking through the process of how toilet paper gets put on a roll. And for some reason, it's the most comforting thing in the world. No, I'm crazy.
How it's made. How it's made is incredible. How it's made is great.
Right?
Yeah.
It's like Little Bear. You know the show Little Bear?
I don't.
My
will
kids
say
were into that for a week, and I hoped it was for the rest of their lives because I love that show. But How It's Made was a similar thing, and I thought that.
I will say I don't think you have to do Redbox though. I think there are other avenues. Like at this point, I hope.
Tell me how, Gabe. No,
I don't know. YouTube. I feel like I've gone on a YouTube like rabbit hole one time of how it's made, of like the weirdest shit. Like I went from gumballs to Cheetos to like everything.
That's how I watched the Dirty Jobs show. And I'm sorry to take your conversation so far away from where it was because the David Attenborough thing's great, J. Mike. But like I'm in America, so we talk about American things. Jeez. And this is like the
just got served, J. Mike.
No, he just looked sad, and I was trying to make him smile, but it didn't work.
You just got foie gras, J. Mike.
I just got foie gras on my own podcast. Wow.
No, I just find animal cruelty videos a sad thing to bring up on a podcast. I mean, that's just me. But the How It's Made stuff and the Dirty Jobs thing, those things are amazing. There are millionaires shoveling shit right now. Did you know that? I did not. You should watch these things. Just saying.
All right.
Gonna have to check that out.
I'm just gonna keep going until someone brings up something about fantasy football instead.
I'm waiting for the draft because I'm still looking. I have no idea what I'm
103, and I'll make mine quick.
No
and brief.
problem. I've got
I've got
take
your time.
Of the backlog of naming shit in the back of my head. I'm happy to pour it out for you all.
No, it's good. So at 103 in our matryoshka. How did we say it?
Russian nesting doll.
Matryoshka.
Привет, как дела?
Matryoshka. Matryoshka.
Не очень хорошо. So
can we just all agree that Metric Scout is actually the 101 in any draft we do? Like he brought the dog onto the podcast. He had an awesome answer for the actual draft. That was pretty awesome, dude. Well done.
So my 103 is going to be a almost like the Texas State Fair style. These are going to be the Reese peanut butter cup fried s'mores.
Okay.
Oh, that's
right. So
I'm
ride
guessing.
with me.
I don't understand.
Ride with me here. Ride with me
back.
So your Reese cup, your Reese's peanut butter cup is DeAndre Hopkins. Okay. One of, if not the best wide receiver in the game. Okay. We can argue semantics, but
he wasn't going to get targets this year.
you know
no, but right now, do you think that?
You think that?
Think about what am I thinking?
DeAndre Hopkins, best wide receiver in the game right now.
I said he's one of, if not the. So you can.
No,
argue.
I'm not disagreeing. I'm honestly like I don't disagree. I think that I wouldn't disagree with that at 101.
Yeah. So with
no one.
Yeah, I think he's up there. I think he's in the conversation. Point being though, he's gotten to the point where everyone knows of him and people still respect it and like it a lot, but for whatever reason, sometimes he doesn't get the respect they deserve, like Reese peanut butter cups. Now, they're amazing things. Now, obviously, we take an amazing thing and we put it in a good thing. S'mores being a good thing. We stick the good thing, Hopkins, into the Arizona offense, which has lots of names that we like, lots of nice things. It's not great, but we think that it's good. We think that it's something that can definitely get us through. And then all of a sudden, we take it and put it in this hot boiling whatever that really looks like it's going to be trash. So we take it and we dip it into the front office of Arizona, which is Steve Kine. And in all of the boiling and all of the mess, the muck, the mire that we talked about earlier, somehow, some way, love finds a way. And when it comes out of that buttery, greasy goodness that is the Texas State Fair deep fry, whatever, like you come out with the breakout season of Kyler Murray. Beneath it all, is Kyler Murray's breakout and the beauty that is Kyler Murray. So that's my 103 here.
I'd just like to say that was wonderful as an experience. Top 5.
I think if you add,
but I don't know why I'm such a hater.
I like that, Bruce.
Everything you said there was like all I could think. I don't know why I'm such a hater, but I was like, how does a man make candy? 3 candies all relate to trash. Like, you just described 3 great candies in the most disgusting. Like, how did you? But no, honestly, that was perfect. Sorry, what makes it scare? I talked over what I had to get that thought out. What did you say?
Oh, it's so good. Yeah, I think if you added Reese's Pieces in there, which is also an underrated candy, but correlates to this concoction we got here, that could be Lane Kiffin just sprinkled in there. Have you had Reese's Pieces before, Peter?
I'd actually just like to throw out there so that people can hate me for even more reasons. I'm not a big candy fan. Like, I don't eat sweets. Like, I like vanilla ice cream is my favorite flavor. So, like, seems to be a lot of material there to really make fun of me. Like, I don't like any of that stuff.
Have you ever seen E.T.?
I like apples. Ooh, I like nuts. That's got to be a good Twitter burn right there. I really like eating nuts. What did you say, sir?
Have you seen E.T.? He's a big advocate of Reese's Pieces.
I've heard that. Do you know that was the first instance, according to the documentary I watched once, right after I watched the How It Works video, obviously, of someone paying for their product to be in a movie. And that's what started pretty much the generation of movies always having product placement right now. Reese's Pieces and E.T. was it.
Oh, sweet.
Sorry, I know I just made everything more nerdy and boring, but I don't like that's me. I'm sorry. It's
all good.
I tried to drink and get wild, but like it still comes down to a fact about history. I'm sorry.
We got the nerdy guy, we got the meathead, we got a good concoction of guests. I like this.
The guy called Metric Scout. Like, man, you're not fooling me. Just because you know everything about wrestling and would probably wrestle everyone else into the ground doesn't mean you're not a nerd. Okay, I see your nerd underlying. I see it.
I try. I know a little bit about air arts, Walker, and stuff like that. And...
he knows the acronyms.
Listen. Y'all are giving Gabe way too much time to craft.
I know.
I'm actually trying to earn
keep
him
talking.
time,
please,
so,
no, keep going. Keep going.
I'm trying to earn him time. I don't know why you got.
Get to the ish. 104.
Why would you stop me earning him?
Gabe here at 104. Get to the ish. No more stalling. No more waiting. Bring us the goodness.
Okay.
And then get ready to get us out of here because I am toast.
I got some Taco Bell waiting on me, guys.
How much
more? He's gonna be awesome.
Why didn't we could have just had like a Taco Bell
draft?
This draft, because they always like do weird shit of like inside of the other thing, like the beefy 5-layer, and they've literally made like, haven't they made like egg taco or what have they made like egg tacos before? Like a taco egg or something. Yeah. There's, I don't know. We could have done that if we were like well versed. They like made a taco out of something. I don't remember what it was, but it was weird.
So what I've done before is I've taken shredded cheese and I put it in a waffle iron, and then I cracked a couple eggs on top of that. Yeah. And then waffle ironed it up, and it turned into like an egg waffle, and then I folded it and made an egg taco out of that. It's pretty stellar. So you got a cheese crust, so it hardens it up and keeps everything together, and then you put your toppings inside of that.
Okay.
Yeah, I saw it on a TikTok video, so I had to do it.
That actually kind of reminds me of Scott Simpson on Twitter. He always has like some food pics, and he always has some weird shit. Like, what are you doing, dude? Like some weird. Maybe we'll have to bring him on to explain those. J Mike, I'll have to go over your head on that one. All right, so let's look, I seriously don't know still, so I'm just let's go. Check this out. Check me out. Something inside of something inside of something. Check me out here. Check me out here. Beef Wellington.
Oh, good one.
Beef Wellington. Yeah. Who knows? Who would take the time to make that, right? And that's exactly how the Dallas Cowboys organization is. Who would take the time to make that?
Someone
sure.
just wants to talk about CD Lamb. Okay, let's go.
Yeah, sure. It tastes good, right? Sure, it tastes great. If you've had it, I don't know. I haven't had it. I'm just assuming it's great.
Pretty good.
Okay?
It's pretty good.
See, exactly. I do know for a fact that you have this flaky outside. Okay, who's flaky? Jerry Jones, very much flaky. He is building this organization. He surrounds it. He's possibly kind of holding it back of sorts, you know, but he's containing everything. You have no idea what's inside. Okay. No idea what's inside. All right. And then you start cutting through, and here come the layers, baby. Okay. So we have prosciutto. Okay. Some nice Italian meats. All right. We have mushrooms. All right. So right there. And then probably another I think mustard, right? Mustard. Is that the thing that goes on beef Wellington? Those three things, those are your wide receivers. Those are your three top 24 wide receivers that are just encapsulating something that is inside of this flaky goodness that Jerry Jones is just holding back. And then finally you cut through to the fifth layer, and you get to that sweet, beefy, tender loin. Who is it? Who is it? Say it with me.
CD Lamb.
Michael Gallup.
Oh,
we already covered the wide receivers, guys. It's Dak Prescott. It's Dak Prescott. It's the guy who is not.
I don't understand your point.
Where's the Tony Pollard player?
You got paid.
There are only wide receivers. What are you talking
Amari Cooper got paid. All right, they'll probably pay Gallup, and they'll pay CeeDee
like
Lamb
Jarwin?
before they pay Dak. They're seriously, yeah, they'll pay Jarwin before they pay Dak. They'll pay Pollard before they pay Dak. All right, but yes, these wide receivers are good. Yes, the defense is horrible, so they're on offense all the time, but we're not talking about Mitchell Trubisky back here, okay? All right. We have Dak Prescott as that sweet, sweet beef tenderloin that's just been cooking so slowly for I don't know how to make beef Wellington, but you know, so slowly developing for years. And we have ourselves Dak Prescott Wellington. All right. That's all I've got. I don't know.
Andy Dalton has to be the ketchup you dip that in.
Ketchup. Holy shit. That is
You're not supposed to do it, but it somehow turned out sweet.
I'm just now realizing I made a mistake coming on. Like, I'm so outclassed by everyone on this show. That was from J Mike. One of the most enjoyable experiences of my life, laughing at the secret monologue in my head. Gabe, off the rip, just Googling beef Wellington and coming up with that. That was pretty special.
Exactly what happened, Pete.
And Metrochat just remembering that Andy Dalton exists and turning him into ketchup.
I know. Thank you so much, Bruce.
Ketchup on a beef Wellington, just for the full American effect. Oh,
he came in.
Money in the bank. This is what happens.
This podcast is beautiful, man.
Money in the bank.
This thing needs to be twice a week with not me on it.
This was great. This is exactly.
FYI, this is a key lime pie flavored bang right here. Just got it out. off the shelf, brand new one, solid.
Pretty tasty.
That can keep us going for another hour. Easy.
I think I can go to 3 a.m.
Yeah,
me too.
Hey, you've got about
You
4
know I'm down. You know it. I'm
Yes,
gonna be here anyway, waiting for someone else to talk to me. So why not?
it's true.
Let's go.
This was perfect. This is exactly how tonight was supposed to be. This was.
I was
so
gonna ask DeAndre Hopkins dynasty value. He's 30.
Mike, can you believe that he did that?
I believe I did that.
He did that.
I believe I did that.
DeAndre,
Do you hate him as much as you hate Julio Jones right now?
Is it gonna be?
Is that within you? Does your hate run that deep?
I love DeAndre Hopkins.
Love Hopkins. Don't you put that evil on me, Ricky Bobby.
I love Arizona.
The
too.
only thing I remember, literally the only thing I remember from when the Houston Texans were on whatever that show is that they play before the season that's total crap, but we watch it because there's no football. What's it called? Behind the scenes in football. Come on, Zach. Tell me what the name is. Anyone? Literally none of you know?
Hard Knocks.
Okay, that show. But the Houston Texans were on it once, and they must have been because DeAndre Hopkins was taking us to a fashion store, clothes store. Whatever they're called, I obviously don't shop at them. I just buy fantasy football shirts, as you should do, from @DynastyOuthouse Twitter handle, @DynastyOuthouse, to support the Brainiacs and Brian's family in this hard time. Anyway, is DeAndre Hopkins telling us how much he cares and considers his clothes? That's the only thing. Like, that's how much, and I care so little about fashion, obviously. But that's the only scene I remember in that entire show. DeAndre Hopkins talking about his deep love of football. 'Cause I remember thinking, thank God he's got something, because we are fucking awful. And if football's all he has, and we're his fans, like, that's going to be rough for him. So I was really glad he had something else.
Yeah, I'm really glad he likes clothes.
Because he is amazing. Like, amazing.
Yeah,
he is amazing.
Like,
he is.
J. Mike level amazing. It's pretty
I don't know about all that. Like I said, I am. Go ahead, Gabe. Sorry.
Oh, no.
I was going to say,
David knows.
I was going to say, speaking of J. Mike level amazing, we got to cap it. We got to cap it. J. Mike is amazing, and we are amazing, and we've had a show. Look, we've had a show. But we need to go. We need to get out of here. I can't clip 2 hours. That's my new rule for the open bar.
I feel like we shouldn't because we talk nothing about fantasy football, but that's just my suggestion.
Which makes this perfect.
Exactly. That's all it's about. We are the beef. And around this fantasy football Wellington, and we just need something else every once in a while. We need some ketchup every once in a while.
Yeah,
so
good Lord, crust around that meat.
Yeah, buddy. So let's pass it off. Let's do some outros. They're going to be short and sweet because considering we only did the double deuce tonight. All right, but it's good. I think I don't know. Might have to do this more often, J. Mike. Just saying, but
I'm saying twice a week, guys. I can watch this show twice a week.
J. Mike's like, yeah, not a chance.
Monday, Wednesday,
Jay,
Friday.
Mike, you're working so hard.
You rest up on Tuesday,
and you're already
Thursdays.
worn out. But the people need 2 J. Mike and Gabe's shows a week. They need it.
They basically do though, because we do 2-hour shows.
No, it's not
split it up.
No, it's not the same.
Yeah, you're right. All right, Bruce, say your thing. This is your outro. Floor is yours. Give it to us.
What's up, guys? My name's Bruce Mattson. You can catch me on Twitter at Metric Scout. Follow my written content at dynastyleaguefootball.com, rotoballer.com. Got a podcast called The Perfect Cast. And don't be afraid to hit me up on Twitter or whatever.
Indeed. FF Money in the Bank. Thank you, Bruce. Good to have you on again.
It's been a pleasure.
And we all just chose food things. You went way above and beyond and crushed that for real. Pete was not lying. That was incredible. And J. Mike said that people don't know, and I don't think people know. I don't know. So that was another level. Good to have you though. Can't wait to have you back, my friend.
I can't wait to be back, man.
Yeah. Pete.
Yo, Gabe.
Pa Audi. That's how I introduced you on the tweet composed about 2 hours ago. Pa Audi. What's up, man? Floor is yours. Say what you need to say. Do it.
All right. I have an hour-long diatribe that I would like to begin.
Nope.
I knew I could get you.
Nope.
I knew it.
You've got about 30 seconds.
No, I would like to point out that at Metric Scout, the guy you just heard talking, is legitimately good. He's underfollowed.
Thank you, guys.
Was originally part of DLF. I think you're still with us, but you may have also been hired by Fantasy Points. I'm not sure. Everyone but us apparently got an invite. But no, seriously, Metric Scout is awesome, as well as the great content. Are you still doing the DFS content? You were writing that article last year, right?
Yeah, I was. We don't have that DLF right now, so
did they cancel? Okay.
Yeah, we're promoted a monkey knife fight this year, not DraftKings. So
props are so much better. That's a smart move, actually.
Yeah, so I've been doing the injury report this year instead,
which is really important this year. But Metric Scout is awesome. He is unfollowed. He is unknown about, which is pretty much all I'm here to do, point out who I follow, I guess. But what I'd like to point out, but if you already follow him, you already know all of that. Great injury advice, great information every week. But he is, without a doubt, the first person to own me after every stupid thing I say. And I say a lot of stupid things. So there's some dedication in there. There's no one better at pointing out what I say. Like almost literally the first comment. I have a great deal of fun talking to Metric Scout. Really glad to get to talk to you on this one, man. I appreciate it. And
it's been a fun time, man.
Thanks to @JMikeCheck on Twitter, or JMike as you are here, I guess, on the podcast, and at FFManBun. Still hasn't changed that handle. I appreciate the cell phone, man. I appreciate it. Gabe, the author and singer of pretty much every football podcast theme song that you've ever heard of that was any good anyway, or the others suck. It's always an honor to get to talk to all of you guys, and I really appreciate it. I apologize for anything I said that wasn't funny, because I was really trying to be funny, and when a nerd tries to be funny, I know we miss the mark a lot. But I threw a lot out there, hoping something sticks. So I hope you enjoyed some of it. My @ is @PAHowdy. I'm just a Twitter commentator, man. No, that's pretty much all I am. If you want to talk about football, I am sure to say something stupid about it, and you can remind me of it when it goes wrong. So I appreciate you. And thanks again, guys. Really appreciate it. And everyone in the chat, Casey McCoy, who weirdly didn't get a call out from any of you guys, but he's been killing it in the chat over here. Zach,
how do you see the chat?
Legitimately hilarious. You can click literally the button that says comments in this video.
Oh, it's been there the whole time.
Yeah. And I mean, you can do the live like I do, or you can just hit comments and you can see all of them. Yeah, Zach Reed from Dynasty Dummies has been killing it. Bob Gilchrist, seriously, man, underrated. You are a permanent member of the chat, like myself, and I love you, man. Every comment in here has been gold. Love the chat, even if it doesn't exist. Right, Gabe? See, I segued. I got off eventually, J-Mike.
Yeah.
Well, stop those daggers. Seriously, J-Mike, for the nicest man in the world, you look like you want to kill me right now.
I don't know, but
I think I might have mindly managed it.
You were pretty nice yourself. Is that how you run a podcast? Do you have to be nice to your guests?
Will they come back? Nice I have never been nice about anyone. You
just complimented so many people in that thing over there that I don't even recognize. They might even come back if I recognize them once in a while.
Shut that amazingly gifted mouth of yours.
J Mike.
Gifted in his lyrics.
Take the segue away.
That went to a dark place. That went to a dark place.
Pete said it all. I got nothing left, man. Pete told y'all what it is. To get at Gabe, take us home. This was a great night. To the chat, shout out. To the podcast listeners, shout out to the everybody who checks us out live. To our guests, again, we rocked the 4 horsemen today, and this I could not have asked. And I say this so humbly. I could not have asked for a more fun discussion, and this is exactly what's been needed. So again, hug your loved ones close. Hug your friends, encourage people around you. It's way too much chaos going on. So keep loving well around you. Gabe, take us home.
Mhm. I think we were finally harmonizing on something. I think we're flirting with a collab eventually, huh? Yeah, no, this was perfect. If you've been hanging with us for the whole show, I think actually some of you have legitimately shout out to Bob and Casey. I know you've been here for a while. Dave has been here a minute as well. Usually is. I said this is a ragtag group. The group is not ragtag, but the fact that it was drawn together so quickly is just shout out to J Mike. It's been a weird season, been a weird 2020. We're just out here trying to function and make things happen for the open bar. So appreciate y'all riding with us while we make that happen in, whichever way that we decide is fit for us. But shout out to J Mike, of course. He's got a podcast, a couple of them, Dynasty Dummies, the Dummy Blitz, all right, the Journal, coming through with that. But echoing what he said, shout out to all loved ones that we still have even. Go and love them, and shout out to the ones that we've lost and their families around them. I know I said it earlier, Pete. I'm sorry. But I just have to. It always reminds me, and it's a good thing. I've said publicly and to J Mike that we're always just celebrating the life at this point. We're not trying to bring it down. Once again, shout out to James the Brain, our guy. Beer cheese soup forever. All right.
I hear you, man.
Yeah, it's all gravy, baby. It's all beer cheese soup, baby. Yeah.
No, I realize we hit the 2-hour mark and you want me to shut up, but I was gonna
I know. We went over Pete.
I will edit it for you if it's a problem.
Oh, we don't. No.
Edit.
Come on now. No,
Bruce's Taco Bell's getting cold.
Yeah,
but
my beef Wellington's getting cold.
All different warmth levels.
I was gonna say,
I think the beefy 5-layer is beef Wellington. That's their version of beef Wellington. Oh, that's disgusting. All right. Sorry, Peter, you're gonna have to say that off air. We gotta get out. We gotta go.
I'm gonna say it right now.
Oh, jeez. We're here next week. Maybe we'll see. But cheers. This is the open bar. We did it another week. It's Shocktober, baby. 1 quarter through the season. Let's get it. Keep on riding. 2020. Go and get beefed. I hope you're Wellington, son. And deuces.